Hey, how are you all doing? This week we reached 1 month since I was sworn in. As I've said before, my goal every single day is to work for you and to make your life easier. I really do hope that you feel like I'm accomplishing the mission that you sent me to do here in Washington, D.C. Last week in our video, I mentioned that we would have some big news. This week on subcommittee announcements, I'm really excited to tell you that I was named the vice chair of the Water Resources and Environment Subcommittee. Serving as the vice chairman of this, I think it's a very important subcommittee, will help elevate your voice, quite literally, and the voice of thousands of residents across the Treasure Coast whose lives, whose businesses are being hurt by the Lake Okeechobee water discharges. Working on the issue and improving our water quality. I've said it before, it's going to be my top priority, and it will absolutely be my top priority as vice chairman of this subcommittee. I also secured spots on the Economic Development, Public Buildings, and Emergency Management Subcommittee and the Subcommittee on Coast Guard and Maritime Transportations. I think both of these spots, they're going to be a great place for me to advocate for our community because, frankly, the water and the weather, as I tell people often, I think they're the two primary reasons why people choose to live in our area. And when the weather gets super hot, we know that the water is what really makes it comfortable. So if you take away the water, we've got some major issues, as we all know. And that's why it's such an important issue and why really you can count on me to just keep pressuring on this issue until we have the solution that we need. Another issue that we worked on this week is really foundational. It's restructuring the way that Washington works. If you think about what's happened during the last administration, over the last 5 years, they've implemented on average 83 major rulings. Now, a major ruling is essentially a bureaucracy that costs more than $100 million. And that's a lot of money, that's a lot of red tape, that's hurting a lot of small businesses. That's quite literally, it's your margin that it's hurting. So what we're doing is we're looking at each one of these rules and we're making a decision on if it's a sensible regulation or if it's overburdensome. And we're rolling back these harmful regulations across government, from Social Security Administration to the Department of Defense, that are hurting individual freedom and that are hurting small business. And that's the goal, is to empower them. Taking power away from the executive branch, especially the unelected bureaucrats, and giving it back to the American people, it has to be the first step in fixing the way that Washington, D.C. works. The next steps will be healthcare reform and tax reform. And as I've said before, I'm really looking forward to getting to work on those. Um, our healthcare system, it's not pleasant to say, but it's collapsing under its own weight. That's why we're seeing prices skyrocket. And that's why choice is really decreasing. Right now, 1/3 of all counties across the country have only one insurance provider. Literally, thousands of counties across the country have only one insurance provider. That's not choice. So we're going to reform our healthcare system to make it more affordable. That is my goal. And to make sure that everyone still has access to care. That is my mandate. And on tax reform, we've got a nightmare of codes that are designed to help the special interests instead of the American people. And you can really only understand the system right now if you have the money to go out there and hire someone to do it for you. And that's got to change. So, in my opinion, we've got to simplify the system so that it's so easy to understand that people like myself and people like you, that we can file our taxes on a postcard. We've got to come up with a tax code that benefits all Americans, not just people that are well connected. And this is where you can really come in and make a difference. For me, while we're working on these issues, regulatory reform, healthcare reform, tax reform, I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me about the changes that would help you, and the changes that you would like to see made. I'm really determined in this job to fix the way that Washington works, and in my opinion, that the best place that I can start is listening to you. That's my opinion on it. So it starts with putting the politics aside and doing what's right for the people in our community. Not just because it's the politically correct thing to do, but because it will help the most people. And that's got to be our standard. It's my standard. And I really do, as I always say, I hope that you hold me to that. So I encourage you, please Leave comments on this video. I can tell you if you call me a nasty name, I might be a little bit less likely to respond to you, but I do try to respond to as many people as possible. Visit our website, send us emails, give us phone calls. I try my best to get back to people on the phone as well. We're also working on coming up with some concrete dates and working on locations for in-person town halls and also securing the dates for teletown halls. So look out for the announcement on those really soon. I really want to hear from you on those. I hope that you'll take the time to participate in those and enjoy with me in opening up the dialogue. And as always, it's an honor to represent you in the United States Congress. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you.